Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, do we have anything to add to the agenda tonight?
You do it there.
I'm not doing that. And we're going to table the lawn care for tonight. That's the only change I have to the agenda tonight. So we don't really need a motion for that. All right. I have no remarks.
Can we add an executive session?
No,
Okay.
not tonight.
Can I be a guest?
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm Cameron Nesbitt. I don't know if this thing's on. Do I have to give my address?
Nope.
Okay, I'm just applying for my 2 liquor licenses again. I've had them for 20 years in Vernon, never had an issue with any of them, and just need your approval.
Okay, we can get that on the next agenda,
Okay.
July 3rd.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. That's as soon as it can be done?
Yeah, it has to be done at a select board meeting, has to be warned and be on the agenda.
I know, I've signed up for the agenda twice now.
No, you haven't. Otherwise it would have been on my
I know.
agenda.
I have. And I've never had an issue ever in 20 years. And I have. And I brought it to attention.
When did you turn in your monies?
I just turned the monies now, but
Okay,
I mean,
so
but I
it couldn't have
was on-
even
I
been
was
on my agenda until today.
I had the money the last time, but it didn't get put on the agenda, and I sat here forever. And it was supposed to be on the agenda, and it was supposed to be on the agenda before, and I didn't come to the meeting, the prior meeting.
Well, until the permit's paid.
Well,
There's
I can't
nothing
pay it till it's approved, and I have the check. But I just got tired. Well, I've been doing it for 20 years. I know exactly how it works.
So do I. You bring your check to the town clerk, they
Well, I know,
process
which I
it,
did.
then it gets on the agenda for approval. You did that at noon today or whatever time you came in. It did
I know,
not
but
get
I've
on
been
the
asked to be
agenda.
on the agenda 2 times, the previous 2 meetings.
Say what you need to say. You
I
have
just
time.
did.
Okay.
If I gotta wait again, there doesn't necessarily need to be a place to have food in town. And it's not a threat, it's just ridiculous. Because I have never done anything wrong, I've never had a single violation in Vernon. You know, I mean, I've paid my money. All you gotta do is send it to the state and it still has to get approved. All it is yay or nay.
I understand what it is, and it needed to be on the
Yeah, well-
agenda, and it couldn't be on the agenda until you paid the town clerk, and you did that today. The agenda was done last Thursday.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
We'll get it on the next one.
Thank you.
Open public comments, non-agenda items only. Cindy. What you got for me?
Well, you asked for the figures of what these 7 companies or people made and what the risk exposure and FICA or Medi would be, so I did that for you.
Thank you.
This is for the people that we need to make a decision on one of the 3 options we have available.
Can you refresh us on the different options? One is like putting them on the payroll, so that's your column with the FICA and
Correct.
Medi, and then,
The risk exposure would be leave them exactly the way they are.
yeah,
And then when I have my workers' comp audit, we would be charged a risk exposure fee.
Yeah.
And based on last year's figures for 2017, this is what each person's would be in the total.
Okay.
And the third option was to ask them to get workers' comp insurance, and if they didn't, then release them from their contract.
Right. Well, that would be just the, well, some of these are single.
All of
Okay,
these
but-
except for
um,
2 are just
Sole proprietor,
one
yeah.
person type businesses. It's one person.
Right.
Big Guy's property maintenance, I understand he has employees because he had some that were coming in that we told him they couldn't because they're not covered. And then of course Hal's Lawn Care has them. His employees are covered, he's not.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, he could continue to mow for us.
Right.
Well, he couldn't. His company could, but he could not.
So would we then be liable for the risk exposure from him?
Not if he, no, we would have to tell him he cannot
Doesn't work.
perform any work on the town property.
So if he did work, would we be charged on him or on the whole company?
The whole company.
Oh, okay.
The whole company, even
Yeah,
though the
because-
others are covered?
Because he would have to, we'd have to make him break out. Right now, he just bills a certain amount a month. It's
Yeah.
based on this, it's divided out. He would have to bill out how many hours he does and at what rate. And then he would have to be paid separately.
So it could potentially
It
be
could be
just the
done.
risk on
It would,
him.
there would be extra
Mhm.
steps. We'd have to figure out what his portion was.
He would need to do that for you, I think.
Right, well, yeah. I mean, I would have no idea
Right.
how much of the mowing he actually does.
Right.
As far as the people that do the plowing, they're all just one
One
person's
person.
companies.
So all they have is their
All they have is
liability.
themselves, right? They all have, all these people have liability insurance. It's the workers' comp that has become an issue. And it's not, I'll reiterate, it's not a state law, it is a VLCT requirement now.
So the third option is to make sure that everybody has the proper insurance, and that's the one we need to go with, in my opinion.
Well, it does seem like, what you have to do, but then hopefully you'll find people that can
Yeah,
do
I
the work.
don't know if you'll be able to find people, especially the plowing for the elderly assistance. I'm not sure if you'll be able to find people.
Right, because a lot of guys are just themselves doing the
Right.
plowing.
And Big Guys doesn't have workers' comp on the employee,
No, and that is against the law.
They still do.
so shouldn't that drop him from the contract
Well,
there anyway?
I advised that he did not, and at that time, he could still do it, we were told, because he owned the company. We told him last year that under no circumstances with any of his employees to do any work for us, because they are not covered, and by state law, they have to be. But now the VLCT is requiring that the owners be covered as well.
What did you say?
The third option, instead of us paying a ridiculous amount of money for no reason, is to hire folks that have the proper insurance.
I mean, this isn't something that we're doing to these people, the state is.
Well, actually,
Correct.
it's VLCT.
Well, okay, our insurance company is doing this.
Correct. The state law does not require it. They have the right to not cover themselves as the owners, but VLCT is requiring it. Because if they get hurt, then we would have to, we'd have to, even though we sign all the paperwork and everything that VLCT recommended, they said when it came right down to it, if someone was injured and it went to court, they would side with the injured party. So we'd be stuck with paying for it. Or our insurance would, which would make our rates go up.
So just VLCT has put us in a difficult spot.
Right. I do think, and Michelle and I had discussed this, that it will be very difficult to find people, especially for the plowing.
It is. I mean, it looks like you would end up trying to hire larger companies.
Which would be more money.
And it's gonna cost more.
We have a lot of
Way more.
elderly people that we plow for.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's not quite fair to small people. business, small business.
I guess, I don't know, but I guess a fourth option could be that we pay them through payroll, but ask them to reimburse the town for their FICA, the FICA and Ready. We'd still be doing everything properly, but we could explain to them, here's your options, and, ask them to reimburse the town for the FICA and Ready that we would have to pay. I don't know if,
Can you legally do that?
I don't know.
I know,
I'm just
that
saying,
doesn't sound
I'm
quite
just
right.
saying that's something I could check into if you wanted. I could check with my person. I don't know if that's legal.
I mean, the FICA's
I
really
would
kind
think-
of to their advantage, but.
Well, the employee pays a portion and the town pays a portion.
Right.
So the employee themselves has to pay a portion of it.
Right.
But I don't know if that's an option. If you want me to check on that, I can, but I'm thinking,
I know,
I'll
that
leave it
kind
at
of negates the point.
yeah.
Do you have any idea what a workers' comp policy would cost for a single
Well, I
person?
checked, I know of one. Right now, the amount for the liability insurance is $558 a year. To add workers' comp to that, it's $1,900 a year.
It's not hardly worth bothering.
Right, and these people, with the amount of money they're making,
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
it's more expensive for the owner because there's more cost. If the owner, than it would be for an employee.
Does House plow?
How's lawn care?
Yeah.
No, they just mow. They mow for the cemeteries, and currently they are mowing the town
Yeah.
office right now. They do not plow. Big Guy's property maintenance does the plowing. They also do the snow shoveling here.
And he's perfectly fine with the exception of is his employees covered at this point?
Big Guys?
Yeah,
No one's covered.
okay.
His employees or himself. Because we've already dealt with that issue of his employees not being covered last year.
Yeah. So we need to make a motion on what you want to do.
What are other towns doing about this?
I don't know, I haven't asked any other towns. I just got this information and it's kind of something we have to make a decision on, so I just brought it right to you guys.
And when do they have to know by?
Well, every minute that people are working and not being covered is
It
not
went
good.
into effect, when was it, 6 months ago, something? You said?
Well, it's for the year 2018, but I just found out in May, so. But when they do it for 2018, then this will affect us at the end of the year.
So it's up to you guys. You want to table it and find out what other towns are doing and get an idea that way, or do we want to make a decision tonight?
Because the only person we have working right now, by the way, is Kevin Turnley,
Mhm.
right? And How's Lawn Care, which we
How's
could
Lawn- and Heather
request
Frost.
that. I think Heather's done.
Yeah, I just paid her some money,
Yeah,
so.
so I think Heather's done. So I think the only,
I don't know what she does with the
People-
with the new fiscal year. I don't know what she has planned to do.
I think the same thing she's been doing.
Yeah, but-
and the museum's done already and the signs are done, that's what,
But that,
budget, so
right,
I think
okay.
she's done.
But she also does the gardening or whatever.
Yeah.
The planting of the,
Right, she redoes
she
them each
hasn't
year.
charged that for us.
But when you drive by, they're done, physically done. So all right, maybe Heather Frost is working still. So on this list, there could be
But that's
three people. You could,
I know we pay for this, but that's for the Historical Society, right?
and the signs,
And the signs.
and the welcome to.
Given the fact that there's 3 people on this list, it seems like our risk is low for the time being. I make a motion that we table it till the next meeting to discuss with area towns.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded to table this, the VLCT debacle. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
We'll
Okay.
get together and figure out how to coordinate.
Highway bids.
you, Cindy.
Did you get the paperwork to him, Michelle?
Yep.
Okay.
So the case is the same that was quoted before, right? Is that the same model?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. And this time is a,
All except with the added greaser.
yeah.
And
the
going
cat
through,
included the greaser, right?
I even had to call one of the case dealers and ask him what the difference was and weight. He just didn't add on the coupler. It changed the weight rating.
Okay, because I see it was like they were the same machine and there were different numbers here and there. So really though, the same machine should have like the same breakout force and tipping, even
Yep.
though they gave different numbers, but they really should be
Well, the one
close
was
enough.
on the total weight of it, because he didn't
Oh.
add on, he went off the spreadsheet, but it was just for a straight bucket,
Okay.
not with a coupler and all that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they all have different warranties and stuff.
Right,
Cat has a 7-year,
yeah.
4,000 hours, the other's a
4,000
3,000.
Is that automatic greaser worth the 8,200 or whatever it was?
We've actually put them on the dump trucks, so when they're working, they're getting greased.
How many hours do you put in on a year, do you think, on a loader?
God, I never looked at the yearly, to be honest.
You got about 6,000 hours on
Yep.
20-year-old pillar, 300
Oh.
hours on
Yep.
average.
I don't know, it looks like the only extra that the tacket is the warranty. 7 years, which
Yep.
is pretty extensive, but it's a bit more money too.
Cat's one of the biggest heavy construction manufacturers in the world. And it's a very popular brand. When you go around town, you see a lot of Cats and John Deere's. So there may be a reason why they're a bit over.
Well, it's like the 7-year warranty sometimes looks a little enticing compared to 3, especially when your hours are pretty low.
Dave, can you tell me why the 3-yard bucket now instead of 2.5 in January?
That, when I put it out, I forgot to change it over.
So
Last
2.5 is what the current loader is?
It's 2 3/4.
Oh, 2.75. Okay.
Yep. And actually, to be honest with you, believe it or not, it won't come through a 3-yard.
No.
It'll be a 2.9
Right, yeah, you're
or
not gonna get a
2.
full
There's
bucket.
no, it's like, God,
Yeah,
they're not exactly.
yeah.
How many yards in the dump truck do you fill?
We get 10 yards
10 yards? Okay.
when we heap them right up over there.
Good. Yeah, I just noted some of the few exceptions between the January specs and the May
Yep.
ones. And so I just had some questions on that. About the tires, Nokian tires. You wanted no exception The Beauregard bid, they indicated
Change it, yep,
that Nokian's not available, or won't be.
but yet the other ones have them. It's like, I don't know if they're not available or the dealer don't wanna deal with it. Cause then they would have tires that came into them that they gotta change over.
But what's so special about Nokian versus Michelin or Bridgestone, or, you know, those are all good quality tires too.
Yep, that was just the tread design. It was the, well, I wanna say just the lugs all the way. And everybody that's had them, we tried out one and it had good traction.
I did talk to Peace Tire about Michelin versus Nokian. Basically similar price. I talked to Larry Haggett. You know, I asked him the difference between the two. The Michelin, he expects to last a little longer than the Nokian tire. Yeah, you see, Nokian, they were made in Finland. Michelin, of course, is in the U.S.
Who is this bid from? I see Milton Cat on this one. I see Deere on that one.
What's the price on it, Josh?
It's the cheapest one. Town line. I
Yeah,
found
town
it.
line at the bottom.
Okay.
He also had one more change as far as the exception. It has to be JRB, the brand name, not a JRB style coupler.
Yeah, it's JRB coupler.
Yeah, the brand name,
Yeah, that's what we had in there.
yeah.
And-
But not a JRB style coupler. I mean, there are other good quality styles. JRB styles is what I'm trying to say.
And I can tell you, Cat does their own.
Yep, yep.
We wouldn't be able to switch with other towns.
You're gonna keep all the attachments that you have?
Yep.
You're not, so you're gonna trade the bucket in, with along with the loader, yeah?
Right. JRB was bought out, or they bought somebody out, so there's two of them that have gone together.
Okay, I'm ready. I make a motion, we accept the town line bid without the lubrication system.
Does that mean that you manually have to
Yep, that's fine.
keep up with lubricating? Which is what you do now? Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the town line bid minus lubrication system. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those
Aye.
opposed?
Hey,
All set.
Did you want me to touch on that paper, Michelle? On right here?
No, because
Okay.
they're unaware of it and I couldn't reach it till today, so I'll figure out, I'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay. I'll be with Windham Regional tomorrow, but I can try to stop it. And it has to do with that paperwork.
Thank you.
Yep.
Approval of regular meeting minutes, June 5th.
Make a motion to approve these as printed.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the minutes from June 5th meeting as printed. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Bills and warrants.
I move that we request payment of the following warrants. 24T account payable, $145,511.68. 23S payroll, $7,896. And 24S payroll, $9,561.65. The accounts payable is high this session because it includes half a year of the school rental for about $110,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded to accept the bills and warrants as read. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Request for Alice J. Brooks Fund.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session for the discussion or consideration of records or documents accepted from the Access to Public Records Law, 1 VSA 313A6, which Alice J. Brooks would find that under.
Second.
Moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We are in executive session. We went into executive session at 6:55, out at 7:05.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize the treasurer to expend $1,000 from the Alice J. Brooks Fund.
Second.
Moved and seconded to expend $1,000 out of Alice J. Brooks Fund. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So the motion was to expend $1,000 out of Alice J. Brooks Fund. Got it?
Who seconded it? I didn't hear them.
Chris seconded it. Fireworks, request for donation bucket at town office. Is everybody okay with that? You don't need to make a motion. Okay, good. And just so everybody's aware, I did sign the contract for $6,000 because that's the money that we had available, and our motion last time was the money that was available. So, we have fireworks and something else that's broken out there. Friends of Vernon Center. Oh, sorry. I skipped one. Animal holding contract with Windham County Humane Society.
There's no amount here,
Right.
so I don't know where we go with that, with no amount on there.
Go into that. Yeah, there is no amount.
I'm like,
Can we table this till we get it with an amount and the correction
Yep,
in there too?
we sure can. Okay, now, Friends of Vernon Center.
Yeah,
Come on down.
here we are again. So we're back with the same request that we made at the previous meeting, except at the previous meeting, we didn't have the full documentation, and we explained that we would be back. So we are back. We're asking you to approve two things. One is a resolution, which hopefully you guys have this all in front of you, yes?
Should I do?
The resolution basically has a lot of whereases, which are reasons why you were doing this, but basically then you find that you would like to delegate the administrative and economic responsibility for identifying, acquiring, leasing, and/or rehabilitating infrastructure necessary for a village center for the town of Vernon with certain requirements. And then there is a contract that basically accomplishes that. And this is slightly revised from the previous one, which I think gave rise to maybe some confusion to the effect that that the Friends of Vernon Center were mainly interested in establishing a cafe or a gathering place that in fact is not the prime goal right now of the Friends. Really the prime goal, as I outlined and also in an email to all of you, is to continue the process of pursuing a village center development here. And that follows a number of votes that you have been involved in first in approving a town plan amendment, then in pursuing the village center designation from the state, then in pursuing a grant, and finally in approving a contract with SE Group to do that actual planning. And so the contract here, the resolution and the contract in combination, basically would formally delegate to the Friends of Vernon Center the responsibility for sort of managing, overseeing, coordinating this process. And this accomplishes two things. One is it moves that away from something that the town needs to be doing, that takes it off of Michelle's desk and your desk and the planning board's desk as something for the town to be working on. Kind of in the same way that the previous item, we were talking about delegating, the animal control function to the Humane Society. You also have a contract with Rescue Inc. You have a contract with the fire department, which is a nonprofit. So the town already contracts with a number of different nonprofits for different kinds of services, and this would be another one. The other thing that it accomplishes, as we explained last time, is that having a specific delegation from the town and an expression that this, quote, lessens the burden of government is something that will help the Friends of Vernon Center to qualify for nonprofit status, which is important if down the road we're going to ask for donations from people, from businesses, from foundations and so forth, for those to be qualified tax-deductible donations and things like that. We really need to, and just to operate, we need to be a 501c3. We're never intended to be a tax-paying business, and we could not be a tax-paying business. So that's the request, is we have those two items in front of you for your approval.
Has anything else happened with the IRS? I know that you guys were kind of held up with them the last time.
No, we're still in a holding pattern. We need to get, information back to them. We're applying for an extension so that, we can properly respond. This is one item, but the Friends Board itself also needs to do some things to make this work, like changing bylaws. And, so no, there's been no further contact or anything with the IRS on that.
Can I ask a question right now? Once you get your 501c3,
Yep.
will you also have your own tax ID number, or will you still be
Yes.
using the town's?
No, then we would have our own.
Then you could get your own,
Yep.
so you will essentially
Do
be.
we have our own?
We already have our own EIN, if that's what you're speaking of.
You do have an EIN right now?
We do, we got that as soon as we incorporated.
Okay, so then once you get your 501c3, the monies will go into your own bank
We-
account, so
we
that'll
have a
come out of
bank
our
account
treasurer's
also.
office.
Yep.
So then after that happens, will the select board still be appointing the entire board of directors?
Yes. Now, as a practical matter, we would recommend to you, here's the board we would like to have appointed. You appoint them, unless there's somebody you don't like, well, then you can change that. You do have that authority.
Okay, and has this been evaluated by any insurance companies? Because I would assume if you're talking about leasing buildings, there's going to be liability issues involved.
Right.
Will you be an absolute separate entity?
We are, once we get past this particular hurdle, we are pursuing what's called officers?
Yeah, director and
Officers and
officer,
directors
D&O
insurance, okay, which almost any nonprofit will have, basically to cover liability for actions that board may take. obviously, if we get to a point where we own property or lease property or rent out property, whatever, we will have to have insurance as
And
well.
all that will be separate from the town.
And this pretty much defines that that would be separate from the
Oh,
town.
I haven't had a real chance to review this very
But it's-
closely.
yeah.
Okay.
It also has, a pretty short cancellation period of 30 days, so if, things go totally out of whack with the Friends, then you can say full stop. And it says that if the Friends go out of business, whatever remaining money is in the accounts of the Friend comes to the town.
Questions? Gene? Sandy? Anybody?
I'm just seeing this tonight, so,
Hmm?
I'm just reading this tonight, I didn't get it ahead of time, so. So I don't know enough to make this.
We're all in that same boat.
Does seem like with every point, though, this clearly excludes the town of
Mhm.
obligation or responsibilities, so that
Fair.
seems to be pretty defined.
Has the town's attorney seen this?
No, I just received this.
I'd like to have him look at it before we sign it personally. Just my opinion.
I think that makes sense.
It seems like a good idea.
I'd make a motion that we table it until the town's attorney has a chance to look it over.
Second.
Moved and seconded to table the resolution and contract with the Friends of Vernon until Town Attorney Larry Slayson has a chance to look at it. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Thank you, it's perfectly reasonable. Our attorney looked at it, he wrote it, so your attorney.
We'll get it over to Larry tomorrow and hopefully get you back on the next agenda on the 3rd.
And if there needs to be like a lawyer-to-lawyer discussion, our attorney is David Dunn in Brattleboro.
David Dunn.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Vernon Historians, insurance discussion / lease discussion.
And I don't see any of them here.
No,
That's why she's here, I believe.
no.
No, she's with the
Fabulous. I'm
So
sorry.
I don't know where they stand with the, I gave them the copy that you signed.
Yeah.
So we need to
Okay,
get back to us.
so we move on. We got nobody to discuss with. Public participation, agenda items only. Seeing none, correspondence and town admin report.
The only correspondence I have is actually a confidential thing, because we're not gonna have, so if you wanna read it and destroy it, that'd be great. And if you would like further documentation, I have copies of it, but it's pretty much, it's outlined there, this is really, but. And that's all.
You want to pass some along?
I was just trying to see if I've seen this. I think I have.
It was sent.
Yeah. That I have. Here. Those copies to show. Anything else for us?
I do not have anything else.
All right, upcoming meetings, WRC planning training in Townsend, Thursday the 21st. Open meeting law training in Townsend, June 27th. Our next regular meeting is July 3rd, and the next IndyCap meeting is the 28th. We are adjourned.
Southern Vermont